If you're watching this video, it's probably because you've already been in the content creation or online business space for a while, and you've tried the strategies, you've bought all the courses, you've posted every day, followed the algorithm tips, done all the things that you were told that you needed to do. And maybe you've even had some success and some wins, but if you're being really honest, you know it's not sustainable. You're tired, you're frustrated, and deep down you realize you didn't come here just to work harder for slightly better results or even to one day work for a very small amount of time and get amazing financial results. You came here because you want real freedom and you want actual deep fulfillment. You want to create something that really matters to you and to the world. In this video, we're going to talk about how to stop chasing those quick wins and instead choose to build the right business for you that matches the life and the impact and the feeling that you are truly here on this planet to experience. First off, I want to acknowledge that all of that trial and error that you've been to was not just a mistake. It wasn't just a complete waste of time. It taught you what you don't want and what doesn't work for you. And that's really just a part of gaining clarity. The problem is that we are all conditioned into a system where we have this worker mindset. From a very young age, we're taught in school to, just that our hard work is what actually leads to success. And even though we might look around us and decide that, yeah, I'd actually like to work less and have better financial results, that's still a trap because it's still not the deep fulfillment and the deep impact that you really want that leads to a truly fulfilling life. Just the other day, I was listening to a creator that I have bought a course from. I've actually bought 2 courses from her, and she's very great at making viral Instagram videos and teaching people, especially women, how to make money online. Nothing particularly wrong with that, but now that I've developed the ability to really see through the screen, when I hear her say things like, okay, look, if I were to start this all over again, what I would do is I would create an Instagram channel and then I would start posting every single day for 180 days, and I would post a reel every day and never skip a day because the algorithm will punish you for doing that. And if you can't post every day, then make sure that you do post consistently once a week. And I know that I used to see something like that and say, like, okay, yeah, I could manage to have the discipline to post every single week. That doesn't seem like too much work, and I can figure out small tips and like bite-sized chunks to give people to help them out and to understand how the algorithm works. And then maybe one day I will have the results that this woman has, and she does. She has amazing financial results. She's has a business that's making, maybe might make $10 million this year, has made $4 million in the past, but it's taken her 10 years to get there. So this is the next point that I want to make. In 10 years, is that really the strategy that I want to be taking? Do I want to be spending my time, even if it's only a few hours a week, do I really want to be spending my time editing short little dopamine hit bite-sized videos? I just saw a hummingbird come by. Okay. Do I really want to be editing little bite-sized videos to give people that quick dopamine hit? And the answer is no. I really want to have a deeper and more fulfilling impact for my life. I don't even care if I'm making $1 million for that small amount of effort. If that effort doesn't actually lead me to something that is deeply fulfilling, then I just say no. But how did I get to this point? It's the difference between a worker and a creator mindset. It's that, yes, you can copy that other person's results, and I understand very well, and likely you do too, the desire to make money. But we do this without questioning the whole system of working and making sure that we get that bag for the work that we have done, rather than creating value and giving something because it is what is truly in our heart to give, and expecting to be financially supported for what we are putting out there in the world. And that's the world that I want to live in. So this brings me to my next point. How do you get to this point? Well, it really takes, if there's anything to be disciplined about, it is spending time with yourself in the feeling of living that vision for yourself and for the world. How often do you really spend contemplating the world that you really wish you lived in? If you were to just let go and say, oh, what do I really want? What we really generally want is to feel free, to feel secure, to feel safe, to feel joy and love, and to feel that we are being the fullest expression of ourselves, and feel completely 100% supported in doing so. Then I have to bring in to the frame that this is entirely possible. This is a possible reality for you in your life, because you are a multidimensional being who's completely capable of creating any life that you want based on the story that you are telling yourself. And you see this reality for all beings because we're all connected. So the more you really dwell in that, the higher your standards really get, and the easier it is to say no to anything that is going to suggest to you that maybe you're doing it wrong, and maybe you should follow this strategy, and maybe you can make the money now and then live the fulfilling life later, one day. Instead, it's a much easier and straighter path to just accept the actions and opportunities that actually align with your highest vision for yourself, and accept nothing else. When you do this, expect to have some emotions come up, because what you're really doing is you are completely changing your identity. You're no longer identifying as this version of yourself that you've been for so long. And that's going to come with some discomfort, some grief, sadness, the realization that you've put so much time and effort and creative energy into something that ultimately ended up being very hollow. And it's okay. It's just that all of that activity and all of those feelings just simply belong to another identity that just isn't you anymore. And in fact, none of the identities are you. Even the one that is feeling more aligned for you right now that you're stepping into, that isn't you either. It's just scratching the surface of what you are really capable of. And so I encourage you during those times to take the time to rest, to nurture yourself, express the emotions in whatever way you need to. Maybe do any practices that call to you, breath work, yoga, whatever. And know that that's part of the work too. Even though this grief is here with you right now, it's not going to last forever. And on the other side of it is going to be something so much more fulfilling for you. So just remembering that you're not your past choices, and you can step into being the self that is your future vision, remembering that time is an illusion, and when you step out of one identity into another, you rewrite all that whole past anyway. You step into a version of yourself that really never had those problems that you had, never suffered those traumas, never bought into all of those stories. So it's okay. Just don't worry about it. I know it's so easy to say when you're not really feeling it, but with practice, even when you're in the depths of your sorrow and sadness, you're going to know that it's temporary and it's just something that is breaking up and leaving you. So I just needed to tell you that reframe of what pain is, and that you will start to look for that feeling. You will start to see that fear and that pain as meaning that you're really moving somewhere, that you're really taking on something and going to another level. And so it's not embracing it like holding on to it and telling yourself the story that you're going to be there forever, but knowing that that means that you're getting to another level, and on the other side of it is going to be even more joy and fulfillment. A useful tip that I've already touched on here is to really scan ahead and have a rational look at what continuing in that particular activity is going to look like 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Is it going to lead to greater depth? Is it going to lead to doing more of the same thing? Even if that same thing, so I've fallen for this trap a few times, so I know some of you are going to identify with this, that you're hustling and working really hard now because you have the promise that, well, in the future I'll get more efficient at this, or I'll get better at it, and it will just become more passive. So it will just take less of my time for more financial gain. And even though that might be true, it's still not the feeling of fulfillment that you really want. So just start with doing the thing that feels fulfilling. It's like the belief that you can't just do the fulfilling thing now and expect to actually have financial support. But why? Why do we not believe that? Why do we buy into that? We don't have to. So just really naming that out loud and rationally to yourself, maybe to somebody else, like, what are actually my beliefs here? And yeah, even if I had to spend 2 hours every week making reels that are just like little tips on something, I would hate that. I would hate those 2 hours that I spend every week. I've gotten so much more discerning and sensitive about how I spend my time, even when it's little bits of time. I want nothing less than every single moment to be spent doing something that is working towards my most fulfilling goals. But do understand that I'm not saying that every single activity is going to be exciting. So some activities are going to be something like having to do some research on different checkout pages to figure out which one is the right one for you, figuring out how to format something, figuring out how to design something, or whatever. So those are going to be activities that are kind of the admin activities in your business. Most likely there is going to be some level of that, but you're going to do them happily because you are committed to the vision that they are leading you to, and that vision is something much better and more and just larger than an income and money. Next, look for people who actually inspire your deeper vision. You don't have to listen to all of the people that are, they might have all the great tips and tricks for gaming the algorithm, but understand that the algorithm is temporary. That's likely going to change at some point. But you want something that is lasting and fulfilling. And so look for people who are actually doing it that way. Some suggestions that I have are Seth Godin and Dan Coe, and I'm sure there are many others out there. Very inspiring people who are doing inspiring work in the world. And I believe that these people are going to withstand the test of time, and so are you, because they're doing work that is actually remarkable out there in the world. It's work that people want to share and want to talk about. And that is, rather than the gaming the algorithm, instead of playing the algorithm game, you're playing the human game, the human value game, where people want to engage with and share your work and support your work financially because they actually find it valuable. And of course, you don't have to copy them exactly, and you can't. But you listen to them and engage with their work to expand your awareness of what is possible for you. But also keeping in mind that it is perfectly fine to be the first one to walk your own path. It's not too late to choose differently now. It's not too late to choose a life of empowerment right now. Don't fall for the trap of thinking that it's going to take too long, because I know, and you know because you've been on this path for a while, that you're going to end up back here anyway. So why not just actually get good at the skills that are actually meaningful to you, whatever that might be. For me, it is making videos and talking and speaking and writing, sharing ideas and getting better and better at sharing ideas. And of course, I want to encourage you to take small daily actions that really align with your vision. And I don't even necessarily mean that you have to take some action related to your business venture every single day. I just mean decide how you want to live and actually live it as best you can every day. And that might mean making time for rest, making time for play, making time for loved ones, and making time for your creativity. And if you want some tips or a wonderful tool that I super love on how to do that, I have a course below. It is my course about bullet journaling. If you're not familiar with bullet journaling, in a nutshell, it is basically you're creating your own planner, own weekly planner. That is the way that I teach it. I only use weekly spreads. And it's beautiful and it's very customizable. At this point in time, I've decided to offer that course by donation. So you can go and check it out below. You can check it out, see if it aligns with you. If it does, and you would like to support me and my work, then send me a donation. And by the way, this is part of my own strategy of, it's the world that I want to live in. I want to live in a world where I don't worry about being financially supported. And it doesn't mean that I will never charge a fixed price for anything in my business ever. I can do whatever I want to. And it's quite possible that this might fail or whatever, but rather than only offering something for free or only offering something for a fixed price, it just feels the most aligned for me to give you the thing and give you the opportunity to support me. Whether you decide to or not, you get to choose. So go ahead and check that out below, and I'll see you in the next video.